America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. I'm going to die on this hill. One of many hills that I will die on. I'm going to die on this hill. I begin this, what is it? It's Wednesday. I begin this Wednesday with a plea to Kamala Harris. Go get this thing. Go after this thing, Kamala Harris. You cannot ride a vibe to the White House. I don't believe you can. I don't believe joy can carry you to the White House. I don't believe it can. I think you got to go after this. I think you got to go get it. I believe you're running against a lawless, un-American psychopath. Kamala Harris, that's what you're running against. You got to run against that. Look, I welcome everybody. Welcome TikTok. I begin this Wednesday. Let me just show my cards. I'll say it again, and maybe this will please a lot of people listening to me right now. If this election is held tomorrow, Donald Trump wins. I believe if the election is held tomorrow, Donald Trump ekes out a close electoral victory. He won't win the popular vote. Kamala Harris will win the popular vote going away, but that's not how we send someone to the White House, is it? If the election is held tomorrow, I believe that Trump barely wins an electoral victory. I think this thing is neck and neck. I think this race is a tie right now. I hope I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll wake up November 6th and Kamala Harris did win a landslide and she did ride a vibe, a joyous vibe to the White House. What do I know? What do all of us know? What do any of us know? What do these pollsters know? I'm out in the battleground states every week. Most days every week, I'm somewhere in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, you name it. And as I'm on the road, it's pretty clear to me that this race is tied. It's neck and neck. It's close. And I begin this Wednesday with a plea to Kamala Harris as someone who wants Kamala Harris to win, because I believe Donald Trump is a lawless, un-American psychopath. I believe that. I'm not a Democrat. I'm still a proud Tea Party conservative out there busting my hump, busting my ass every single day because I want to keep Trump out of the White House. And I've said from the beginning, because I believe this, Trump only has a shot to win if he's normalized. If this is a normal race. If this is just a normal race between the Republican nominee for president and the Democratic nominee for president. If it's just kind of that, if it's just kind of George W. Bush against John Kerry, if it's just Barack Obama against Mitt Romney, you know, right? If it's just a normal Republican against a normal Democrat, and they're having normal conversations about the economy and taxes and the border and all the rest, and it's just a normal Republican against Democrat kind of an election. If that's the case, if it's something like that, Trump can win. If this race is normalized, Kamala Harris, Team Harris, Trump has a great shot at winning. But he's not normal. He should never be normalized. This should not be a normalized campaign. And by the way, if it's not a normal campaign, if most of the American people understand that this is not just a normal Republican versus Democratic race, that this is the Democratic nominee for president running against a lawless, un-American traitor, against a lawless, un-American psychopath, if most of the American people know that and understand that, Kamala Harris, there's no way on God's green earth Donald Trump can win. I've been screaming this from the mountaintop from the very beginning. If most Americans think, Kamala Harris, listen to me. If most Americans think this is just a normal Republican versus Democratic race for president, Trump has a great shot to win. If most Americans understand this is not normal, Kamala Harris is running against a guy who tried to overthrow an American election. This is not a normal race. Kamala Harris is running against somebody who's the only sitting president in American history who lost an election and refused to concede. If most of the American people know that, there's no way Trump wins. If most Americans understand that, win or lose, if Trump loses in November, he'll never, ever, ever, ever accept the result. If most Americans understand that, there's no way Trump can win. If most Americans understand that Donald Trump is a convicted felon, if most Americans understand that he's going to face trial for trying to overthrow an American election, there's no way Trump can win. If most Americans understand that Donald Trump is going to face trial for trying to pressure the state of Georgia to overturn their election results, there's no way Trump can win. Kamala Harris, do you hear me? Do you understand? You are not running. This is a plea, Kamala Harris. You're not running against a normal Republican. You're running against a traitor to this country. We just found out, Kamala Harris, yesterday, that Donald Trump, private citizen, had at least a half dozen conversations, has had with Vladimir Putin over the course of the last 2 years. That's traitorous behavior. Trump's had private conversations with Putin this past year or two. That's not normal. Oh, by the way, while Donald Trump purposely stole highly classified documents and was hiding them down at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's out there talking to Putin privately. Can you imagine, by the way, my Trump supporter listeners, can you imagine how angry you'd be if we found out that Barack Obama, while Trump was president, that Barack Obama was having private conversations with Iran's supreme leader? Can you imagine that? You imagine how upset Republicans would be? Can you imagine how upset Sean Hannity would be if Barack Obama was having private conversations with Iran's supreme leader? That's what Trump has been doing for the past year and a half. Kamala Harris, this is not a normal campaign. You're not running against a normal Republican. You're not running against a normal candidate. You're not running against an American. You're running against someone who would undo our democracy, Kamala Harris. Don't normalize him. You're running against someone, Kamala Harris, who's promised to imprison his political opponents if he wins. Don't normalize him. You're running against someone, Kamala Harris, who promised to be a dictator from day one. Don't normalize him. If I sound frustrated, I am. You've got me, MAGA. You've got me. I believe if the election is held tomorrow, this lawless, un-American traitor would win. Kamala Harris, I hope you understand that. That's why I'm so wound up right now. If this election's held tomorrow, Trump wins. That traitor would be back in the White House. He is a traitor to this country. Any candidate who would refuse to accept the will of the people is a traitor to this country. Say that, Kamala Harris. Four weeks left to go. I don't mean to sound, Team Harris, I don't mean to sound desperate. I'm not desperate. This is just an impassioned plea to you. I don't think, and you've done a great job so far, but I don't believe that you can just ride a vibe, a good feeling vibe to the White House. I don't. These are different times, and you're running against a lawless, un-American psychopath. I don't think you can just believe that just joy will carry the day. I don't think you can ignore Trump and win. I don't. I know other smarter people are telling you just focus on the economy and talk about your plan for the middle class and just ignore Trump or just treat Trump like a normal Republican. I know you're getting that advice. I don't believe that advice is going to put you in the White House. Meet the moment, Kamala Harris. Rise to this moment. You're running against an enemy of this country. You're running against someone who is un-American. Say that. Explain why. Show why he's un-American. Show why he's a threat to democracy. Most Americans instinctively believe it. They need to be shown why. And it's so easy. Because he is. If he's back in the White House, not one goddamn thing will get done. It'll be his ugly mug in front of the camera every day. It'll be 4 years of sheer chaos because Trump doesn't give a damn about America, Kamala Harris. All he cares about is himself. Say that. And that's why for 4 years, it'll only be about himself. It'll be himself 24/7. Say that. Say that. You can't win. You just, I want to shake you up, Kamala Harris. I want to shake you up and send you out to fight. That's what this is. This is a righteous fight. You've got 4 weeks left in this righteous fight. You are running against someone who does not have America's interest at heart. My God, you're running against the leader of the America First movement. And we just found out his God Bless the USA Bibles were all made in China. He's an utter fraud. Every time he opens his mouth, he lies. Kamala Harris, he's been lying about natural disasters. He's been lying about hurricanes, putting real Americans' lives in danger. Get out there, Kamala Harris, damn it, and say that. Go after Trump. He's a horrible human being. He's incapable of putting the country's interests first. Damn it, say that. A hurricane hits, and all Trump cares about is Trump. And so he lies about that hurricane. He spews disinformation, which leads to Americans, real Americans, dying because he's putting bullshit lies out there. Say that. Don't just go on the Colbert Show and smile and crack a beer with Stephen Colbert. Don't just go on The View and have a wonderful 30-minute conversation smiling with those ladies. No. I close my plea with this. Kamala Harris, if Donald Trump is normalized in the eyes of the American people, he has a great chance of winning. If in the eyes of the American people, they understand he is a uniquely dangerous threat to this country, if they understand he is everything our founding fathers feared, he will not win. Kamala Harris, I want you to be a happy warrior, but doggone it, we need to see more warrior. You're fighting him. He's everything our founding fathers feared. Donald Trump is utterly un-American. I need you fighting against that to win, to keep him out of the White House. You need to fight against that. I don't want to see you sitting on a couch with Stephen Colbert cracking open a beer. No, I need you out there fighting against him, against what he is. He's everything we teach our children not to be. He's a real threat to our democracy. You need to say that. You need to say that. Let me turn off my phone. Sorry, TikTok. Now a plea, Keith. Now a plea to MAGA. Yeah, you know what? Trump took a bullet, still running. Here's the deal. Kamala Harris is way stronger than Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is way braver than Donald Trump. I saw somebody, a former Republican congressman on TV last night, talking about that. Kamala Harris doesn't come across as a tough leader. Are you serious? Donald Trump's the biggest pussy we've ever known. Donald Trump's a coward. He's a bully. Cowards and bullies are pussies. World leaders laugh at Donald Trump. World leaders know how easy Trump is to manipulate. All you gotta do is praise him. All you gotta do is lie to him and praise him, and he'll do anything for you. Donald Trump is Vladimir Putin's puppet. Donald Trump gets down on his knees in front of dictators and authoritarians. Kamala Harris will go after tyrants. Trump bows to tyrants. Donald Trump is a pussy, an absolute utter pussy. By the way, I'll smile. I'm not going to smile a lot today, but this is one of those great ironies. I love Trump supporters because they used to be not my supporters, and I love them. Most of them are all these guys. They're good, tough guys. They're workers. They're guys who work with their hands. They're cops. They're firemen. They're contractors. They're builders. Right? They're electricians. These guys are voting for Trump, and I love whenever I talk to them. And I love these guys, but whenever I talk to them, it just cracks me up that they support Trump. Trump's the biggest pussy in the world. Trump's a wuss. Trump's a baby. All he does is complain and whine all day. All he does is lie all day. He's a coward. He never has the courage to face the music. He's a big fucking whining coward. He's a big puss, and it just cracks me up that all these tough working class guys support this pussy. I think I can say that word on my podcast. A plea to MAGA. A plea to MAGA. Every member of MAGA listening to me right now, every one of you, here's my plea. Grow up. Pull your head out of your ass and grow up. Nobody can control the weather. FEMA. Right? The government entity right now that is out there doing all they can to help victims of Helene and preparing for Hurricane Milton that's about to hit today, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, on their website, they have had to put on their website. It's like they're talking to 5-year-olds. They're talking to you, MAGA. They've had to put on their website information dispelling the lies about the hurricane out there, the myths about the hurricane. Keith, you got that? This is off of FEMA's website right here. FEMA, the government, has been forced to tell the American people that nobody can control the weather. Right there. They've had to put it on their website. The government cannot control the weather. Nobody can control the weather. Hurricane Helene was not geoengineered by the government to seize lithium deposits in Western North Carolina. That's one of the conspiracies out there. Thanks, Keith. That's one of the big conspiracies out there, that the government purposely somehow engineered Hurricane Helene so that they could get at all these lithium deposits and mine them in Western North Carolina. That's just one of the hurricane conspiracies out there being peddled by MAGA world, being peddled by the right. But I want to just back up a moment now. And again, my plea to MAGA, don't be 5 years old, grow the hell up, right? The government has been forced to put on their website telling the American people that nobody can control the weather. They've had to put those words on their website. Nobody, dear American people, again, talking to Americans like we're 5 years old. MAGA, this is on you. I did take my meds. Thank you, Josh. I took my meds this morning. It always helps. Talking to MAGA like they're 5 years old. The government did not engineer Hurricane Helene. Dear MAGA, the government cannot create hurricanes, not yet. Dear MAGA, the government cannot control the weather. Dear MAGA, grow the hell up. Will you believe everything? When Marjorie Taylor Greene, what did Marjorie Taylor Greene say, right? The Jews did it, right? They control the weather too. The what do they do? They're lasers. Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they got something with lasers. And now, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was serious last week that the Jews created this hurricane. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Do you believe that? MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. It's not funny. It's sad. People who would believe this shit. It's sad. People who would believe that there's some deep state that's been going after Donald Trump for 8 or 9 years. It's sad. People who believe that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. It's really sad. And now the weather? Now we're at a point in this country. You know what, damn it? Part of your job as Americans, part of our job as Americans is to stay informed. To grow up beyond 5 years old. MAGA. Part of being an adult in a free society, in a democracy, is to stay informed and not be easily swayed by and influenced by lies and bullshit. And MAGA, you're not doing a real good job at that right now. MAGA, I'll criticize anybody respectfully and constructively, but right now, one of the problems we got in this country is you, MAGA. You guys are acting like you're 5 years old. Man, it's so fucking easy to fool you. It's so easy to lie to you. This is why Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, I can go down the line. This is why they all lie to you, because you will believe anything. This is why they lie to you, because they know you'll believe anything. And now we're at a point in this country where so many of you believe like the government manufactured a hurricane. The government engineered this hurricane. You believe that? So the government has to put on their website the following words: nobody can control the weather. You're so wrong about everything, Joe. Well, I don't, but am I wrong about that, Brian? I don't know, maybe Keith, there are people, is there anybody over here listening to me right now, MAGA, who believes that the government did create, engineer, manufacture Hurricane Helene? Love to hear from you. Love your show, would love to hear from you. Tell me why. No, I'm not going to have fun with it. I'm not going to poke fun with it. My plea to MAGA is grow up, be a fucking adult in this country. Pull your head out of your ass and be an informed adult. And don't be easily swayed and influenced by lies and bullshit. How about you do that? As an American citizen, do that. I don't give a damn if you like me. I don't give a damn if you respect me. How about you do that? Damn, it happened again with TikTok. Live access removed from TikTok. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's my language, Keith. Maybe it's my language. I just got bounced from TikTok again. Maybe it's my language. But that's my plea to MAGA. Grow up. I want to close with a back of my hand to Mitt Romney. And I'll make this brief, Keith. Mitt Romney's very publicly said he will not vote for Donald Trump. Golf clap, Mitt. Thank you, Mitt. I give you the same golf clap, Mitt, that I give Chris Christie and Mike Pence and Paul Ryan. And there are other Republicans who've said the following. I'm golf clapping. Donald Trump is unfit. He's a danger to this country, so I won't vote for him. You get a golf clap. And they get a golf clap, and Mitt Romney gets a golf clap because Mitt Romney refuses to endorse and support the only candidate on the ballot this year who can beat Donald Trump. Like Trump says, Romney says, Trump's unfit. He's a danger to this country, but I will not vote for the only person who can keep the unfit, dangerous one out of the White House. That's why Mitt Romney gets a golf clap. And it bothers me. It bugs me because crazy Tea Party Joe Walsh is out there campaigning his butt off for Kamala Harris because, like Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan and Chris Christie, I believe Donald Trump is a unique, unfit danger to this country. So I'm supporting the only person who can keep that guy out of the White House. That's Kamala Harris. Mitt Romney was at it again yesterday, some interview somewhere, and he's trying to be really cute and clever, and it just pisses me off. Play that, Keith.
That you will not be voting for former President Trump in this upcoming election. But you've also not taken the plunge, so to speak, the way other conservatives have, like Liz Cheney. And my question is, what's stopping you from getting to the point where you'll say you'll vote for Kamala Harris and, endorse her the way that Liz Cheney has?
Yeah, I've made it very clear that I don't want Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States, and you're going to have to do the very difficult calculation of what that would mean. All right, my own view is that I want to continue to have a voice in the Republican Party following this election because I think there's a good shot that the Republican Party is going to need to be rebuilt and reoriented either after this election or Donald Trump is reelected after he's the president. and believe I will have more influence in the party by virtue of saying it as I've said it. So I'm not planning on changing the way I've described it, but shouldn't be terribly hard, given the fact that I voted twice to convict him in the impeachment trials, which would have prevented him from actually running again. I think where I stand on Donald Trump is pretty clear.
Funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not cute. Mitt Romney, shame on you. What a wuss you are. Shame on you. Two points to Mitt Romney. What's he saying there? Like he's not going to vote for Trump. And then he says to the audience, I think you can interpret what I'm going to do or say. Well, first of all, Mitt Romney has very publicly said he's going to write in somebody. He's not going to vote for either Trump or Harris. Is Mitt Romney changing his mind on that? I don't know. He doesn't say. He's asking us, he's telling us to figure it out. Why doesn't he, if he's voting for Kamala Harris, why doesn't he just have the balls to say that he's voting for Kamala Harris? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And then Mitt Romney says, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way. Meaning I'm not voting for Trump, but I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to vote for. I'm doing it this way, Mitt Romney says, because I want to be a leader in the Republican Party post Donald Trump. Now, I don't know what he's smoking. I don't know what Mitt Romney's smoking. If Mitt Romney ever thinks in his lifetime he's going to be a leader in a Republican Party beyond Donald Trump, it ain't going to happen. Mitt, let me just tell you, Mitt, you will never be embraced by this Republican Party. This Republican Party has been overtaken by MAGA, and they can't stand you. But so that's and if you do want to be a leading voice in the Republican Party after 2024, Mitt, because you didn't vote for Trump, they'll never accept you. Nikki Haley doesn't understand that. Mike Pence, Chris Christie, none of them do. So it's like you're not doing yourself any good. Nikki Haley plays this game where I don't really love Trump, but I'll endorse him. And others play the game. I won't vote for Trump, but I won't vote for Harris, thinking like that will ingratiate them among the Republican Party. No. Republican Party voters either care about you're either with him all the way or you're not. There's no in between. There's no half pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. Mitt doesn't get that. But again, the bigger, broader point is this. And I know I'm going to get shit from all the people on my side, all the Republicans and never Trumpers who love Mitt Romney, who worship Saint Mitt. This is just chicken shit stuff by Mitt Romney. This is just chicken shit stuff. And I'm sick of it. He's afraid to publicly come out and say he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. He's afraid to do it. He's afraid to say it. And that bothers someone like me who has risked everything and lost everything to do the right thing. To take that step, that necessary step, to do what must be done to keep an unfit, dangerous threat out of the White House, all in with Kamala Harris. Mitt doesn't have the courage to do that. He's wrong about the Republican Party, but he doesn't have the balls to go all the way and do the right thing. It's really disappointing because Mitt Romney, if he came out tomorrow and publicly endorsed and campaigned for Kamala Harris, that'd make a huge difference. That would make a bigger difference than Joe Walsh out there every day campaigning for Kamala Harris. I acknowledge that because there are a lot of moderate centrist Republicans who do worship Saint Mitt. And if Mitt were to go out there and say, I'm with her, a number of them would be with her. It would make a difference. It's disappointing that Mitt Romney won't do that. So he should get, no, forget the golf clap. He shouldn't even get a golf clap at this point. There's 4 weeks to go. I got to figure out what happened to TikTok again. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Utah's not going to go for Kamala Harris. Doesn't matter, though. By the way, that's another thing. Mitt Romney's retiring. My God, you don't have the balls now. You don't have the courage now to do the right principled thing. Send me a text or send me an email if you want to communicate with me. Joe Walsh White Flag at gmail.com. One word. Joe Walsh White Flag, one word, at gmail.com. Have a good week, baby. Be brave.
Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.